I'm Christine. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you've never been here before. And in today's video, I'm here with part 3 of a 3-part series that I did for Christmas and holiday romance recommendations. So all week I've been giving Christmas, holiday, and romance recommendations. This is the last video, so this one is going to be Christmas contemporary books, but I also have one for Christmas and holiday contemporary novellas, and then I have another one for Christmas and holiday historical romances. So I'll make sure to link all of them in the description of this video if you missed any of those. So basically I had to make this in 3 parts just because I had so many holiday and Christmas and romance recs to recommend. If you want even more, I have almost 100 on my Goodreads shelf, just shelved under Christmas and holiday. So first up is 'Tis the Season for Revenge by Morgan Elizabeth. I cannot stop gushing over this book. I read it a few days ago and I'm just obsessed with it. So this one is on Kindle Unlimited. Definitely do not let the cartoon cover fool you. This one delivers on the story. It delivers on the steam. It is my favorite Christmas holiday romance of all time now. So this one starts off with some Legally Blonde vibes. The heroine has been dating her lawyer boyfriend for 4 years, and she is super excited because she is on the way to his Halloween work party, which is the first work party that he's ever invited her to. And so she is just like convinced that this is the year that he's gonna propose in this holiday season. But instead he shows up and dumps her instead, and so she is floored, like she can't believe it. She is heartbroken, and so she invites her friends over to kind of get drunk and just like talk about it. So when she's talking to her friends, she realizes that her ex definitely took advantage of her, used her over the years. Like he tried to change everything about her. He made her dye her hair. He made her wear certain clothes, like act a certain way, pretty much just like dull down her entire like personality and being to fit into this mold that he wanted. On top of that, like he was cheating on her as well. Like this dude was just a jerk. So she acted as his personal assistant, like answered his emails and set up appointments for him. She did his like house cleaning and took care of his chores, cooked for him. Like this dude just like took the ultimate advantage of her. That night when she's with her friends, she ends up joining this dating website, and right away she matches to actually her ex-boyfriend's boss. And so that is when her revenge plan comes in, and she decides she is going to date his boss, bang his boss, and get the boss to invite her to the work Christmas party that her boyfriend never invited her to. So this one's just amazing. It has an age gap. The heroine is 28 and I believe the hero is 42. And the hero is actually one of the founding members of the law firm, and he just like worships this heroine like no other. So I loved seeing them together. I loved seeing their instant connection and chemistry. Like it was just so believable, and you got their relationship right from the start. And the hero, he just like absolutely worships the heroine. He loves her for exactly who she is. Like all of the things that her ex didn't like about her, like the hero loves and embraces that about her. And like it was just so nice to see. The Steven here was super hot, and I really loved in here as well how the hero and the heroine, they don't want to have children, and so their HEA does not involve kids. They just want to be like that cool aunt and uncle. So this one was just a fun time, and if you take any of my recommendations, read this book. Next is Lovelight Farms by B.K. Borison. This is the first book in her Lovelight Small Town series. And this one is such a fun time. So this one actually doesn't have a lot of Christmassy vibes. It's set during fall and winter, like leading up to the Christmas tree season. So in this one, basically the heroine purchased a Christmas tree farm the previous year. And when she did that, she took on the previous owner's debt as well. And so the farm is definitely struggling financially. So the heroine ends up entering into a social media competition to win this like $100,000 cash prize, as well as getting the publicity from the social media influencer who's going to come to the farm to check it out. So the only problem is on the application, the heroine had written down that she owns the farm with her boyfriend. But of course, she doesn't even have a boyfriend, and so she goes to her best friend, the hero, and asks him to be her fake boyfriend. This one is just a fun time and so sweet. The hero and heroine have been secretly pining for one another for years. They have been best friends for a decade, and so neither of them kind of wanted to cross that friendship boundary line. This one, I just love the romance. I love the history between the couple. I love the side characters. Like the whole series is great, but this one is the Christmassy one. Next is A Merry Little Meet Cute, and this is an author duo collab between Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. This one I really enjoyed. So the heroine is a plus-size adult film star who actually ends up getting cast on a Hallmark type channel movie. So the heroine has been hired on this kind of like family wholesome channel where she has to keep her other career under wraps. And so the hero and the actor that she's going to be playing opposite on the film is actually a former boy band bad boy who she used to totally crush on. So the hero actually knows who the heroine is from the start. He actually follows her on one of her accounts. And so he like knows her other job the entire time, and he has some like mutual pining going on for her as well. This one was just a lot of fun, a lot of tension while they're working together. The steam was great. Like, don't let that cartoon cover fool you. Like, this one delivers on the steam. Next is How the Grump Saved Christmas from Claire Kingsley. This is a small town set around a Christmas tree farm. So this one is a second chance romance. The couple actually were high school sweethearts, but now they haven't seen one another for 11 years. So the hero works for a company that actually wants to purchase the land and the farm that the heroine's family owns, and they want to take over the farm and turn the land into a data center instead. So when the hero's boss finds out that the hero actually grew up in this small town and knows the family who owns the farm, his boss tells him like, well, then you need to go there and like convince these people to sell. The heroine is on the opposite side of that, and she wants to save her family's Christmas tree farm and like this whole Christmas village that they have set up. And then the hero, the longer he is around the heroine and her family and the farm, like the less he is wanting to convince them to sell. This one was just really cute and fun. There are some charming side characters as well. The hero has a fun relationship with his assistant, and his assistant's daughter has cerebral palsy. This book is a standalone, but it does play into the author's Bailey Brothers series, which I haven't read yet, so you definitely won't be lost if you read this as a standalone. Just know that there is content warning in this one for miscarriage in the past. Next is Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey. And in this one, the heroine is an ex-con who was recently released from prison and hoping to have a fresh start. One night, the heroine actually ends up passing by a high-end store's like Christmas display in the window. And so she ends up starting up a conversation with another stranger who is passing by, and they start talking, and she decides to tell him like all the things that she would do differently if she displayed the window. So she actually doesn't realize that the hero and the guy that she's talking to is actually the department store manager, and his family actually started the business as well. So he ends up telling her that she should apply for the job because they are currently hiring for window displayers. This one is like a Ted Lasso inspired fic. So there is this like super cinnamon roll sweet hero. Like he is just adorably optimistic. He wears Christmas themed bow ties, and he's just like a sweet cinnamon roll. So it was really fun in this one because the heroine is the grumpy one and the hero is the sunshine. And he knows from the moment that they meet that she is meant to be in his life. This one was just sweet and super steamy. Both characters have some struggles and some things that they have to work through, and I just really like seeing their relationship. Next is Season of Love, and this is a sapphic holiday romance. So in this one, the heroine Miriam, her great aunt was actually Jewish, but she owned a Christmas tree farm. Her great aunt has actually passed away when the story starts, and so Miriam goes back to her hometown where she's actually estranged from her family and friends there. So when Miriam finds out that her aunt left her and like a couple friends and people who live in the town at the Christmas tree farm, Miriam has to decide if she's going to stay there and help the farm get out of this like financial struggle it's in, or if she's going to leave. Miriam ends up meeting Noel, who works at the farm as well and was left it too, and so Noel always assumed the worst about Miriam, so they have that to work through. This one is a closed door romance, so if you're looking for low esteem, this is definitely one for you. Their times together though are really sweet. This one does have some heavier kind of themes and topics as well, like Miriam's estrangement from her family. She grew up in an abusive childhood, and like her mother is still married to her abusive father. And then Noel, we get to see her journey with sobriety, and she is like a recovering alcoholic. Next up is The Holiday Swap by Maggie Knox. This is just an adorable, feel-good, sweet, low-angst read. So in this one, there are twin sisters. They're both bakers. One of the sisters lives in LA, and she kind of works on reality baking shows, while the other sister stayed up north in California and kind of helped the family's bakery. So when an accident on a set leaves the twin who lives in LA with a concussion and kind of a lack of smell, lack of appetite, like she realizes she needs her sister's help to fill in for her. So they do that old twin sister switcheroo and switch spots. They swap for a week. They both have little romances now at the other person's place. Both heroes in this are just the sweetest. One of them is a fireman and the other one is like a physician's assistant. This one is just super low angst. Everything works out perfectly. Definitely like those Hallmark type of vibes. Lots of baking, lots of sister bonding, and then there is no steam in this either, like there's only kissing. Next is Snowflakes at the Little Christmas Tree Farm. I read this one like 5 years ago, but I remember it was so charming and cute, and this was just like a cozy, sweet read. So in this one, it starts off with the heroine having her heart broken, and so after a night of drinking, she wakes up to an email on her laptop saying that she just won this Christmas tree farm in Scotland. So during her night of drinking away her sorrows, she actually had bid on this online auction for a Christmas tree farm in Scotland and won. She goes to the farm. She realizes that she has to fix up the house, fix up the farm. The hero is one of her new neighbors, and he owns like the pumpkin patch across the street from her farm. He's a grump at first, but then they form a friendship. This one was just really swoony and cute. Next is There's Something About Mary from Cody Hall. This is the second book in the Mistletoe Christmas series, which all follows this like family in Mistletoe, Idaho that own a Christmas tree farm. This one, Mary is the heroine and her family owns the Christmas tree farm, and she ends up moving back to their small town after a bad breakup. So the hero in this one is a single dad, and he has just recently moved to the farm to be the new foreman with his young son. The hero is a bit standoffish to the heroine in person, but they actually end up connecting and matching on like an online dating site. So they start chatting on the dating app, and they actually really connect without knowing who they are in person. So I just thought this one was super cute and fun. I loved seeing all their fun combos. This just had so many adorable like meeting for the first time, fluttery vibes, and just made me smile. Next is Nick and Noel's Christmas playlist, and this is the first book in that Mistletoe series that I just talked about. So all of these are available on Audible Plus if you have that. So in this one, the hero is Nick, and his sister Mary is the one who had the previous book, and so Nick and Mary, their family is the one who owns the Christmas tree farm. So Nick was in the military, and he recently moved back home to Mistletoe, and then the heroine is actually his childhood best friend, and she was in the military as well, but she is back and working as a doctor in town. So Nick and Noel have been best friends since childhood, like their moms were best friends as well. This one I really liked how there wasn't any of that like unrequited love or mutual pining ever. Like they both realized at the same time, after both coming off of bad breakups, that they kind of have feelings for one another. So I liked that. This one was kind of lighter on the Christmassy aspect, but the friends to lovers aspect was really nice. This one there is some drama with their exes as well as with like some girl hate going on with his ex. Next is Christmas Eve at Friday Harbor by Lisa Kleypas. This is actually the first book in her Friday Harbor contemporary series. So this one is pretty short. It's about 200 pages. And in this one, you get introduced to the fictional town of Friday Harbor, which is a small town off the coast of Washington. So I really loved in here the Pacific Northwest setting. So in this one, the hero owns a local coffee roastery. And at the beginning of the story, he has just become the legal guardian of his 6-year-old niece after his sister has passed away. So between him and his other brother who owns a local vineyard, they are deciding to take care of their niece together. When the story starts, it's been 6 months since his sister's passing. And so he has had his niece for 6 months, and she has remained mute and not spoken until one day the new local toy shop owner comes into town, and that's the heroine. And when the hero takes his niece there, the heroine actually opens up and talks to her. So the hero is instantly taken with the heroine, who has recently been widowed and moved to town. The hero throughout the story kind of does have a girlfriend, but when he spends time with the heroine, he realizes that he is with the wrong woman. This one, even though the title is about Christmas, we actually get Halloween and Thanksgiving in here as well, and it's not super Christmassy. This one is super short and sweet. I kind of wanted more from the story, but it is what it is. It definitely reads like a Hallmark movie, which I believe it was made into a Hallmark movie. So those are all my contemporary Christmas holiday romance recommendations. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of these, or maybe what some Christmas books are that you have to recommend me. I'd love to know. Of course, I have linked in the description of this video the previous 2 videos, so if you missed those, you can go check them out. I talk about contemporary Christmas novellas in one, and then Christmas historical romances as well. If you haven't done so yet, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, and I'll see you in my next one.